4 ways to use technology productively. Today, I want to talk to you about how to use technology productively. Whenever you read or watch anything about improving focus, one of the first tips you will hear is to turn off your phone, devices, and other technology. Although technology certainly can be a huge distraction, there are ways that you can use it productively. In fact, certain technologies are designed to aid in productivity. It seems like a waste to ignore these technologies wholeheartedly. You just have to know how to use the technology. Let's get started. 1. Set limits on what you use. Most importantly, you need to set limits on what you use if you're to use technology productively. When most people recommend putting away your phone and devices, it's because unproductive apps and websites may be calling your name. Social media, games, and YouTube are some of the biggest distractions and time suckers. Even if you get on your phone for work purposes, these fun apps can accidentally eat away at your time and focus. To ensure that you don't use the applications that are distracting and unproductive, you can set limits on when you're allowed to access them. Simply go to your settings and click on the screen time option. From there, set limits on when you can use certain apps. For laptops, you can download time management tools that will keep you away from certain sites. 2. Use timers or time trackers. The second way to use technology productively is to use automated timers or time trackers. One of the most effective productivity techniques is the Pomodoro method. This method describes alternating between work times and breaks. You can use an automated timer to ensure you are working and resting for the appropriate amount of time. You can obviously use something as simple as your phone's alarm clock or timer feature. If you're worried about having your phone out at all, there are tons of apps and tools you can download and incorporate into your laptop to stay focused and on track. 3. Schedules and calendars. One important part of staying productive is knowing what you have to do and when you need to do it. Back in the day, people exclusively used handwritten calendars and agendas. Although this is still a great way to track your time, you can save paper and time by using online calendars or scheduling apps. These digital calendars will have multiple features for divvying up your time and assignments. You could also use them to track your productivity, which can help you better estimate how long it will take you to accomplish tasks in the future. 4. Simplify small tasks. Finally, the last way that you can use technology productively is to simplify small tasks. There are tons of little things workers have to do every day. A lot of technology is designed to take away the unnecessary steps. For example, you can set automated reminders, emails, or a variety of other features. Simplifying one small task won't save you a lot of time. In contrast, simplifying multiple small tasks every single day will quickly add up. This can help you focus on the things that actually matter. Final thoughts. As you can see, technology isn't completely bad. There are certainly ways that you can use technology to remain focused and productive. Just by setting limits and using certain productive tools, technology can make your workday much easier. In this tutorial, I'm going to tell you 5 tips for staying focused. Whether you have a big deadline coming up or are wrangling up the kids, you'll likely need a lot of focus. Even though focus is a natural challenge to most people, there are easy techniques that you can incorporate into your day to help train your brain. Without further ado, let's look at 5 tips for staying focused. 1. Remove distractions. First things first. Start by removing all distractions while you're working. This includes social media, your phone, or pesky coworkers that want to chat. If you don't get rid of your distractions from the beginning, it will be more of a challenge to stay focused. In fact, it may be impossible. Of the distractions, turning off your phone is the most important. Although phones are great for communication, they can so easily turn into a time waster. I recommend turning your phone on Do Not Disturb mode while you're working to stay focused. 2. Drink coffee in small doses. There's a reason why so many people like to have a cup of coffee in the morning. It helps to waken the body and mind for the day. Instead of drinking a large batch of coffee throughout the day, try drinking coffee in small doses. Studies have shown that drinking a little bit of coffee periodically throughout the day improves focus. If you drink too much coffee, however, it will lead to jitters and anxiety. Only drink coffee or some other caffeinated beverage in small doses to stay focused. 3. Set goals. Goals are a great way to stay focused on your priorities and tasks for the day. Every morning, try to create a list of the top goals for the day. More so, set goals that are specific and time-bound to help you stay on track. You may want to try the SMART goal method. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Incorporating these features into your goals will make them clearer and easier to achieve. 4. Give yourself a break. Another tip for staying focused is to give yourself a break. Whenever you first start learning about mind-focusing methods, you'll likely learn about the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique talks about how you should work based on a work and break schedule. Begin by working for 25 minutes straight. When that 25 minutes is up, take a 5-minute break. After the 5-minute break, get back to work for 25 minutes again. Repeat this 4 times. After the 4th working session, take a 20 to 30-minute break and start over again. The point of this technique is to help you stay focused when you're working, but give your brain time to relax. In other words, it breaks the work up into more manageable chunks. 5. Fuel up. Food is our fuel. If you don't have the proper fuel in your body, it's going to be difficult for you to stay focused and energized. Make sure you're eating the right food throughout the day to keep yourself focused and ready to tackle work. Complex carbohydrates, healthy fats, and lean protein are the best foods for staying focused. Some of the best foods to eat throughout the day include berries, leafy vegetables, fatty fish, walnuts, and tea or coffee in moderation. Final thoughts. As you can see, improving focus is relatively easy with these 5 tips. Just be kind and patient with yourself, and you should see results in no time. 5 tips for staying focused even when you don't feel like it. Have you ever had one of those days when you have a lot to do but you just can't seem to stay focused? I think we've all had those days. In this tutorial, I'm going to tell you 5 tips for staying focused, even when you don't feel like it. Let's jump right in. 1. Take a break. I know this may sound counterintuitive, but one of the best ways to help motivate your productivity and keep your focus is to simply take a break. Whenever your brain is having trouble sticking to one topic, it is either because you have something on your mind or you're tired. Take more breaks so that you can recharge during the day. Instead of just taking breaks whenever you feel tired, schedule breaks into your day. On a regular day, you should take 5-minute breaks every 25 minutes with a 30-minute break roughly every hour and a half. On the days you're finding it hard to stay focused, schedule 10-minute breaks every 25 minutes or schedule 5-minute breaks every 20 minutes. 2. Fuel up. While you're taking a break, use that as an opportunity to provide your body the fuel it needs. Whenever you get tired or stressed, your body needs food and water to stay charged up and energized. Keep complex carbohydrates, fat, or protein, as well as plenty of water on hand for when you need a break. Additionally, you can fuel up with small doses of caffeine. Studies have shown that taking small amounts of caffeine throughout the day can help boost your focus and productivity. Don't drink too much, however, or you could get the jitters. 3. Remind yourself of your intentions. Sometimes all you need is to be reminded of why you're working in the first place. Remind yourself of your intentions and goals so that you remember why you have to stay on track and fight through your urges. Specifically, remind yourself of short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals may make the issue more immediate, while long-term goals will make the mundane task more relevant to your future wants. 4. Get a distraction blocker. One of the best parts about technology is that there is an app for just about everything today. When it comes to productivity, you can use apps that are specifically designed to block distractions, such as certain apps or websites. A distraction blocker will ensure you don't find yourself on a rabbit trail of the internet every time you go online for work purposes. 5. Work according to your energy. Finally, the last tip for staying productive and motivated is to work according to your energy. If your body is feeling really tired and run down, there is a reason why. Listen to your body and don't push it whenever it feels too tired. Conversely, make sure you work hard during the times that you feel motivated and ready to go. This will help you get work done when you actually have the energy for it. Final thoughts. Even though it can be easy to give up when you lose your focus, it's important to be persistent and hold yourself accountable for staying connected. Try any one of the tips from this tutorial next time you feel your mind wandering at work. Hello. Today I want to tell you about 5 ways to stay mindful and focused. Many studies have shown that practicing mindfulness is a great way to train your brain to stay focused. By focusing on both mindfulness and focus, your day can go smoother, be more productive, and less stressful. Let's get started. 1. Single task. Many people make the mistake of trying to multitask throughout the day. Although multitasking is advantageous in certain instances, you should try to avoid it when you can. Our brains are not equipped to fully focus on more than one item or task at a time. Instead of multitasking, try to single task. Focusing on one item at a time will allow all of your brain's energy to be poured into that singular task. As a result, you'll do a better job and the task will typically take less time to accomplish. Not to mention, only focusing on one task at a time allows you to be fully involved in the process. It helps you to remain mindful because you can actually think about how you feel about individual tasks. In other words, single tasking creates an environment for full immersion in the present. 2. Turn off distractions. The modern era is full of distractions. If it's not your phone going off, then there's likely some really annoying noise, whether it be coming from traffic outside or a TV. To remain focused and mindful, you need to learn how to turn off or tune out distractions. Most importantly, make sure to turn off any devices while you're trying to stay focused and mindful. Devices pull you away from the present and make it much more difficult to stay on track. It may be a good idea to put your phone on Do Not Disturb whenever you're working. Additionally, try to tune out distractions that you don't have full control over, such as a barking dog or loud traffic. You can do this by putting on classical music or investing in a good set of headphones. 3. Visualize. Visualizing is a really good mindful and focused practice. Whenever you visualize something, your emotions and actions naturally lead to the sort of results you want. Start your morning by visualizing the most important task of the day. Visualizing certain tasks will make you keenly aware of your thoughts and feelings. It will also make you more aware of when the reality doesn't match your visualization. 4. Check in with yourself. Another way to stay focused and mindful is to check in with yourself throughout the day. Checking in with yourself gives you the opportunity to see how you feel and give your brain a break. Simply pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and physical body every couple of hours. Checking in with yourself makes you keenly aware of how you feel in the present. This leads to more mindfulness. At the same time, it allows your brain to rest so that it can be more focused afterward. 5. Know when you have too much on your plate. If you take on too many assignments or tasks, it's impossible to stay mindful and focused. Learn your signs that you're stressed so that you can say no whenever more tasks arise. Final thoughts. We hope that these tips help you learn how to stay mindful and focused throughout the day. Keep in mind that all of these tasks take time to master, and it's okay if you feel challenged at first. Creating a work ritual to get you focused. Daily rituals and habits have a large impact on our productivity and ability to concentrate. By making a work ritual, you can help yourself focus and tackle the day. In this work ritual, there are 4 things you should do every day to help you stay focused. Let's check out this ritual. 1. Create a focused environment. The first step in your workday ritual is creating a focused environment. It's nearly impossible to stay focused and concentrate on your work if your environment is full of distractions. Making your environment distraction-free helps you get in the zone. Begin by turning off your phone or limiting access to websites on your computer. There are a number of tools, apps, and settings that can help you control what you are allowed to view on your devices during the workday. Limiting distracting applications such as Instagram or Facebook can help a lot. Additionally, try to eliminate any unnecessary noises. If you work in an office, you might want to shut your office door so that you aren't distracted by any chatty coworkers. Invest in noise-canceling headphones if needed. 2. Prioritize tasks for the day. Once you have created your focused environment, start going through your to-do list and prioritize tasks for the day. Prioritize tasks according to urgency and need. This will help you have a firm grasp on what tasks you need to accomplish and what tasks are okay to miss if you run out of time. As you prioritize your tasks, it may be helpful to list the tasks you've been dreading first. Prioritizing these tasks first can help you get them out of the way. If you keep procrastinating on them, you might be too tired to give them the effort you need later on in the day. 3. Set mini goals. After prioritizing your daily tasks, set mini goals. These goals will help you stay on track and give you a time frame for each individual task. Make these goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. All of these characteristics will keep you on your toes to accomplish your tasks. For example, let's say that one of your most important tasks for the day is to prepare for a phone interview that is scheduled for 2 p.m. A great mini goal to set for this task is researching 3 specific points you wish to make during the call before 12 p.m. This gives you time to practice your points too. 4. Create a work break flow. Finally, the last important aspect of your work ritual should be a helpful work break flow. A work break flow is a time management skill that will break up your working time into more manageable chunks. These manageable chunks will be separated by short breaks. For example, you may want to work for 30 minutes and follow that work period with a 5-minute break. You should create a work break flow and stick to it daily. As your concentration improves, you might want to increase the working time intervals. Final thoughts. Now that you've learned 4 important steps to creating an effective work ritual, it's time to make it your own. Add any other steps or features that you think will make your workday more efficient and productive. In this tutorial, I'm going to tell you about how to create the perfect environment for staying focused. Even though it may seem like a minor issue, where your work impacts your productivity and level of focus dramatically. If you want to be as focused as possible, you need to improve the environment you're working in. Here are some tips for creating the perfect environment for staying focused. 1. Turn off distractions. The first step to creating the perfect work environment is to turn off all distractions. This includes your thoughts, devices, and noise coming from outside your office. By making your work area a distraction-free zone, you will notice a huge difference in your productivity. Obviously, something like turning off your phone is pretty self-explanatory. You could even put it on Do Not Disturb mode so that you can still use your phone in emergencies. Still, you would not receive distraction notifications from Facebook, a game, or anything else unnecessary. If the distractions are more difficult to turn off, try to be a bit more creative. Obviously, a chatty coworker outside can be handled by closing the door. If you can still hear the talking and it's a distraction, put on classical music or something else to drown out the sound. 2. Stay organized. Studies have shown that having an organized working space is more conducive to a productive and focused day. Make sure your work area is organized so that you know where everything is throughout the day. If your desk is not currently organized, take a couple of minutes to clean up the area. Simply get rid of everything you don't need and create an organization system within the drawers. You can find affordable storage options at a dollar store. As the days go on, try to keep your desk as organized as possible. 3. Make your goals visible. Most people organize their to-do list and goals in their head. Though this works for some people, it certainly isn't the most effective option if you have a lot of tasks to do. Take your to-do list to the next level by writing it down and placing it somewhere visible in your office. For example, place short-term assignments on the top of your desk and update it every day. This will make it easier to mark items off the list. For more long-term goals, you can make a decorative poster to hang on your door or wall. 4. Know what times work best for you. Everyone has their own preferred time for study and work. Know what times work best for you so that you're working during your most productive hours. This doesn't necessarily affect the environment per se, but it will make a huge difference when you go to work. Depending on what your preferred hours are, design your work area accordingly. For example, you may want to put a Do Not Disturb sign on your door that states when you will be available to talk. You may also need to set up additional features in your office, such as lamps, if you like working early or late during the day. Conclusion. Next time you go into work, take a look at your office space and think about if it leads to more focus or distracts you. Making a couple of changes to your work environment can truly lead to more productivity and intense focus. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to train your brain to stay focused. Even though the brain is not a muscle, you can train it to become more focused and dexterous. As a result, you can make focusing easier on yourself just by doing a few brain training techniques every day. Luckily, these brain training techniques are not that difficult in small quantities. Just by making a few changes to your everyday life, you'll find staying focused to be easier and easier. Let's take a look at a few of these brain training techniques for you to try out. 1. Practice mindfulness or meditation. Mindfulness and meditation are two things that have been studied pretty extensively. Most of these studies show that they can help you experience less stress, anxiety, and rumination. At the same time, they can help you improve your focus and attention. To practice mindfulness for focus, start by selecting a target to focus on. You can focus on your breath or a certain mantra. Then, get into a comfortable position and relax your body. Focus your attention on the selected target. Whenever certain thoughts pop up, gently release those thoughts and continue with the practice. Start by doing this practice for 5 minutes and build up your tolerance. 2. Avoid multitasking. Sometimes you have to juggle multiple priorities to get everything done in one day. If you can avoid it, try to avoid multitasking. Multitasking has been proven to hinder our cognitive abilities because our brains are designed to only focus on one task at a time. To train your brain to stay focused, single task as much as possible. This may be difficult at first or feel like it takes much more time out of your day, but it will benefit you in the long run. With all of your brain's energy going to one activity, you do the activity better and more quickly. 3. Visualize your day. What we think about our day and life impacts reality. Whenever we think certain thoughts, those thoughts lead to feelings, actions, and results. Start visualizing your day as part of your morning routine to start having the results you want. Instead of visualizing the whole day, pick a few critical tasks to focus on. Try to walk through the steps. Imagine your feelings and anything else related to the task. This will help you prepare for those tasks, turning your thoughts into a reality. 4. Push yourself. At the beginning of this tutorial, I mentioned that your brain needs to be exercised like a muscle. How you strengthen a muscle is that you push yourself a little bit further every time you work out. You should do the same with your brain. Whenever you feel that your brain needs a break or is losing focus, try to push the focus for just a little bit longer. This will help your brain become more skilled at focusing, even when you become tired or distracted. Final thoughts. Even though some people may be naturally better at staying focused than others, you can train your brain to become more focused. Try meditation, single tasking, visualizing your day, and pushing yourself to improve your brain's ability to focus. Remember, you need to be kind to yourself throughout the process. Focus is not developed overnight. The first couple of days you try these techniques may be a challenge. Keep pushing through and be kind to yourself until you reach the results you want. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you about whether you should single task or multitask. Many people claim that they're good multitaskers, but that is rarely true. Instead, most people are very poor multitaskers because our brains are only developed to handle one task at a time. As a result, most people are better single taskers. Still, you might be wondering if there is ever a time to multitask. The answer is nuanced. Let's jump into the question now. When you should multitask. Multitasking is theoretically when you handle multiple tasks or skills at once. According to most experts, however, there is no such thing as multitasking. We can only do one thing at once. As a result, most people are serial taskers, not multitaskers. Serial tasking is when you jump from task to task in a rapid order. So you might type part of a work email, switch to reading your phone, and then go back to the email. In this example, you did not do the tasks simultaneously, nor did you complete them at the same time. There are some times when we do multitask, however. For example, you may drive your car and sing along to a song at the same time. A more productive form of multitasking would be listening to an audiobook while driving. You can multitask in this sort of scenario because driving and listening are both automatic abilities. In other words, you can do them on autopilot. For any task that cannot be done on autopilot, multitasking is not the most productive technique. Multitasking only makes your brain jump from task to task, causing you to do all of your assignments poorly or haphazardly. When you should single task. Since you can multitask on autopilot, but not when you have to think about what you're doing, you should single task whenever the activity requires your attention and intentional effort. Single tasking during these times will allow you to be more productive and focused, as well as benefit your performance. Given that most activities we do require intention, you should be single tasking throughout most of your life. Though this may sound exhausting at first, your physical and mental well-being, as well as your productivity, will improve dramatically when you switch from a multitasking way of life to a single-tasking one. Let's take a closer look at single-tasking. Let's say you have multiple assignments coming up at work. Instead of trying to juggle all the tasks at once, take them one by one. Create a priority list to know which items you want to complete first. Many people recommend starting with the assignment you want to do the least. This will make all the following assignments go much smoother. Once you make your priority list, start doing all of the items one at a time. Do not move on to the next task until the one you're currently working on is completely finished. Make sure to take breaks between each task to keep you energized and upbeat. Final thoughts. All around, you should single task way more often than you multitask. Anytime you're at work or doing anything of importance, you should be focusing on one task at a time so as to make the most of your brain's power. The only time you should be multitasking is when you're on autopilot, which rarely happens. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you about the best work-to-break ratio according to science. When most people talk about productivity and staying focused at work, they only focus on when you are actually working. They fail to mention that you must take breaks to stay motivated and focused throughout the day. Still, both taking too many or too few breaks can hinder your performance. So it is important to find a happy balance in your work-to-break ratio throughout the day. Let's get started and learn how to take breaks more effectively. Why breaks matter? Before digging into the proper ratio, let's talk about why it is important to take breaks. Simply put, our brains are not equipped to be on all the time. According to science, our brains need at most 1 hour of work followed by 15 minutes of rest. By creating a structure in our work periods, we are less likely to be enticed by temptations such as Facebook or non-work-related emails. In other words, breaks give our brains a time to rest so that we can be fully tuned in during the work portion. The Pomodoro Technique. Although you can certainly try the 1 hour on and 15 minutes off approach, you will likely find it very challenging at first. Unless you've already been working towards focus, you probably need more breaks. That's where the Pomodoro Technique comes into play. The Pomodoro Technique is considered one of the most effective time management methods. It allows you to have structured work and break time so that your brain gets into a consistent, focused flow. Still, the Pomodoro Technique gives you shorter breaks that are dispersed more frequently. Let's take a closer look at this technique. With the Pomodoro Technique, decide on what task you need to do first, then set a Pomodoro timer for how long you want to work. This time is traditionally set for 25 minutes, but you can change the time based on your personal preference and current abilities. Work until the timer rings. Then take a 3 to 5 minute break. Get back to work once that short break is up and set the timer for 25 minutes again. Repeat this process 4 times. After the fourth 25-minute working session, take a longer break. This break should be between 15 and 30 minutes. After the 30-minute break is up, start over, beginning with a 25-minute work session and 5-minute break. It is important that you use up all of your working time. Even if the decided-on task is completed, use that time to review the task or plan for your upcoming task. Build up your concentration. As I already mentioned, the Pomodoro Technique traditionally uses cycles of 25 minutes. Although this is a really good starting point, it is important to try to build up your concentration levels. Science tells us that our brain works optimally for 1 hour. That hour should be followed by a 15-minute break. Start with the traditional 25-minute cycle. As you get used to concentrating for 25 minutes at a time, increase the working time between breaks. Once you're able to concentrate for 1 hour, you know that you've built up your concentration skills for optimal work. All around, science tells us that working for 1 hour and resting for 15 minutes is the most effective way to stay productive and focused. Use the Pomodoro Technique to build up your concentration. Today I'm going to talk to you about how what you do during your free time affects your productivity. When most people talk about staying focused and productive, they only emphasize activities done at work or when you need to be focused. What people tend to forget is that how you live your life outside of work largely impacts your focus and productivity too. Let's take a look at 4 important things you must do outside of work to stay focused. 1. Fuel up right. Our bodies need healthy food for fuel. If you only load your body up with processed food, sugar, and simple carbohydrates, it's going to be hard for you to stay focused and productive during your day. Instead, the best fuel type includes complex carbohydrates, fats, and protein. These different types of food will keep your brain functioning at optimal levels. Additionally, they will take longer to break down, which means that you'll be fuller and more energized for longer. Make sure to eat a healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Plus, keep healthy snacks on you to fuel up when you get hungry at work. 2. Drink water. In addition to food, you need to drink enough water. Our body is made up of primarily water. If you only drink coffee, sodas, and sugary drinks, you're not only going to be putting on extra calories, but you're going to be neglecting your body's most basic needs as well. You might be thinking that water doesn't have that big of an impact on productivity and focus. That could not be further from the truth. Water helps your brain to function as it should. More so, water can be more energizing than a cup of coffee at times. 3. Exercise. Something else you need to do to remain productive is exercise regularly. Exercising ensures that your body is working as it should. It's a good idea to have 3 intense workouts a week. If you currently do not work out at all, then start slow and build up your endurance. The more you exercise, the healthier you will be. As a result, your brain will most likely be working at peak condition, helping you to remain focused and productive. Another benefit of exercising is that it will help you sleep more. 4. Sleep well. Speaking of sleep, make sure you get enough shut-eye every night. Sleeping gives your body a chance to reset and restore itself. If you do not get enough sleep, it is impossible for you to have the focus or energy levels that you require to remain productive. Generally speaking, you should shoot for about 8 hours of sleep. Certain people may need an hour or so more or less, but try to shoot for a consistent sleep schedule, no matter who you are. If you exercise, you're more likely to sleep more. Additionally, eating clean foods will help to prevent you getting a sugar overload before you get into bed. Final thoughts. All in all, some of the most basic elements of your life will determine your productivity levels at work. This includes what you eat, what you drink, how you move, and how you sleep. Make sure to not neglect any of these aspects of your life because it will lead to poor physical and mental health, resulting in poor productivity as well. When you should multitask. Multitasking is theoretically when you handle multiple tasks or skills at once. According to most experts, however, there is no such thing as multitasking. We can only do one thing at once. As a result, most people are serial taskers, not multitaskers. Serial tasking is when you jump from task to task in a rapid order. So you might type part of a work email, switch to reading your phone, and then go back to the email. In this example, you did not do the tasks simultaneously, nor did you complete them at the same time. There are some times when we do multitask, however. For example, you may drive your car and sing along to a song at the same time. A more productive form of multitasking would be listening to an audiobook while driving. You can multitask in this sort of scenario because driving and listening are both automatic abilities. In other words, you can do them on autopilot.